Welcome, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining me. Today, we are going to stop the discombobulated marketing cycle that is draining your energy and your bank account. Most of you feel like you're on that content treadmill, right? You're going as fast as you can, but you're staying in the same place. You post a reel and it dies in 24 hours. You write a blog, no one reads it. You feel like you have to be on all the time just to stay relevant. I'm so excited to be here today to walk through this together. I'm Juliana Wasco. Most of you know me by Jules, VP of Medspa Marketing here at Diamond Accelerator. I turn premium branding and clean offers into booked calendars and higher revenue per hour with a very simple and trackable marketing ecosystem. So thanks so much for being with me today. I'm going to show you how to work 90% less by thinking like an authority, not like a creator. Today, I'm going to give you my exact blueprint to do this using free tools that you can download before we even finish this call. I'll be showing you how to repurpose the same piece of content across multiple channels. So please comment planner if you want to take a look at our free marketing planner. It will assist you in keeping all of your thoughts, keywords, and ideas and questions organized. To understand why your old marketing isn't working, we have to talk about the massive Google algorithm update that just hit not too long ago on February 5th. This update has absolutely changed the game for med spas. For years, we were competing against those giant national websites and content farms, right? They just churned out generic articles just to get clicks. I think of, those bigger names like Laser Away, who are just dominating Google because they have so much content going out. But as of February 5th, Google is killing off clickbait. And if your comment is designed just to get a click, but doesn't actually provide a deep expert answer, Google is burying it. RIP. They are prioritizing now in-depth original content from websites that show strong topical authority. Topical authority. This is something I'm super passionate about, topic clustering and topical authority. If you've ever been one of my clients or talked through SEO with me, I've probably mentioned it to you. So what does topic authority mean for you? It means that Google is looking at your website and asking, is this a site that only talks about medical aesthetics, or is this a site that talks about everything under the sun? If you're a med spa and you're posting deep, consistent, expert content about your industry, Google will view you as a source of information. And this is the best part for everyone here in our virtual room today. The February 5th update shifted the weight to local websites. This is a huge win for you guys. Google realized that if someone is searching laser hair removal, they don't want some generic article from a magazine in New York, right? They want the expert in their own backyard. Means local businesses are seeing a massive boost in traffic. But there's a catch. They're only seeing that massive boost if they are proving their authority with Google. So if you write one random blog about lips and 6 months go by and you write another one about laser and then, hey, throw one in about skincare too, Google thinks you're a generalist. And in this new algorithm, generalists are invisible. It reminds me of a dear friend of mine who I just absolutely adored. And she owns her med spa and she writes about everything under the sun, right? And I was like, girl, I love that you have so many plants at your med spa. Don't get me wrong. I'm a plant mom myself, but like talking about caring for your plants under the same roof as your med spa, that is not going to get you anywhere, right? These topics all require their own website if you're passionate about writing more than just med spa. So To win in this anti-generalist algorithm, right, we have to use our strategy called topic clustering. We're going to pick one theme, one service, and we're going to own it for 3 months, 4 months, for up to about 5 different pieces of content, ideally. And then Google has no choice but to rank you as the #1 expert in your zip code. So we're moving away from this random acts of content and moving towards becoming an institution. And now that you understand why the algorithm wants you to be an expert, I want to talk about how we find the data to back that up. Before you record a single video or type a single word, you need to know what people in your city, in your state are actually searching for. Not what you think they want, but what the data says that they want. And I want everyone to write down a few different tools. There's Keywords Everywhere and Google Trends. These are your SEO BFFs when you're doing this type of research, all right? So I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can use these free tools and how they will help you decide on your strategy, but also how they will help you churn out months of content without you really having to think that hard. So Keywords Everywhere is the one I'm going to start with. It's a simple browser extension, and you use it by going to Google, typing in a question that you heard in your clinic, right? Something like, does Morpheus 8 hurt? Keywords Everywhere will pop up on the right side of your screen, and it will show you a box that says, people also ask, right? And long tail keywords are also associated with that. And this is a gold mine. It will show you that people aren't just asking if it hurts, but they're asking, how do I reduce pain during Morpheus 8? Or Morpheus 8 versus Potenza pain levels, right? So this week, I want you to start with your hero treatment, the one that makes you the most money, and type it into Google with Keywords Everywhere turned on. Take screenshots of that list of questions, and you have now an infinite amount of keywords and blog headers for your next 6 months. So then your goal is to create content around each one of those questions and link it back to everything else inside your website. And I want you to start with your hero treatment, right? And you'll remember earlier I said, what do they actually want, right? Sometimes our hero treatments and what people are actually searching for are different, right? I have clients who are like, well, it's great that I'm ranking for microneedling, but that doesn't pay the bills. And I get it. It's a super valid concern. It's very important you're ranking #1 for your hero treatments that make you the most money. But it's also equally important that you are meeting people where they are and what they are searching for, right? And so it makes me think of the example like Botox versus wrinkle relaxers versus neuromodulators versus neurotoxin versus whatever new word we're using to call this treatment, this product. And if you have a lot of content on your website about wrinkle relaxers and you're ranking #1 on wrinkle relaxers, that's wonderful for you. But consider meeting your audience where they are now and what are they truly searching for on Google. I guarantee you it's not wrinkle relaxers. Time and time again, no matter where you live, #1 search term for that service is always going to be Botox, right? So you want to have Botox in your website. Let's talk about Google Trends. This is another free tool, trends.google.com, I think is what it is. And type in like weight loss injections versus Ozempic versus tirzepatide. Excuse me. Google will show you exactly which term is rising in terms of volume, right? That means the most amount of people searching for it. But here's the coolest part is it tells you that information based on what state you're in, right? So if you're in Boise, Idaho, like me, You can type in, weight loss injections versus Ozempic and target your location to Idaho. And so if everyone in your area is searching tirzepatide, but your blog is all about your weight loss program, you're losing traffic because you're using the wrong language. So just always consider meeting your patients where they are now. These tools will find the one question that has both high search volume and that like high anxiety that you want to, answer questions around. And that is your pillar. So now let's talk a little bit about building the content cluster, the topic cluster, right? With that one question monthly method. Let's talk about turning this question into 6 months of content, and we do it through zero waste blogging. And that starts with the source. I want you to think about the last time a patient sat in your chair and said, "Oh, I'm nervous because," or "I heard on TikTok that," fill in the blank, right? Maybe they ask something like, "Will my face look overfilled if I do 3 syringes of Radiesse?" Or "Why does my best friend's Botox last her 4 months and mine only lasts me 8 weeks?" These questions are gold. And I want you to start like mentally noting them and documenting them when you hear them, because that's going to feed your SEO strategy and ultimately your overall marketing strategy. If one person in your room is asking you this question, 500 people in your zip code are asking Google that same question right now. So if you can capitalize on that, you're going to start driving patients. When you answer a question about that anxiety or nuance, Google sees what's called EEAT: experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust. And AI cannot replicate the experience of you seeing 20 patients a day. So let's break down how you're actually going to do this, because guys, I hate waste. I hate waste. I hate wasting time, energy. I ask my husband and my kids. I hate food waste, right? And so I want to do this the easiest way possible for you and the most efficient way possible. So let's start off with an example, right? And let's say your question is, why did my filler migrate? Instead of writing one blog or one piece of content around that topic and then moving on, we're going to own migration for the next 4 pieces of content, right? So blog 1 could look like the science of migration and why it happens. Blog 2, the fix, dissolving versus massaging. Blog 3, the prevention, how to choose the right injector. And then, in my opinion, the most important would be the case study. Examples with photos and stories and expertise of a real patient that you've fixed. By the end of this, however long it takes you, right? Maybe you're doing that once a week. Maybe you're doing it once a month. I personally like to aim for once a month. But by the end of that blog topic, Google will see 4 deep dives on one topic on your website. And you've now built topical authority. You've now signaled to the algorithm that you are the expert on filler complications in your city. You're welcome. Not sure if that's what you want to be known for, but that's how you do it, right? So look at your keywords everywhere list from earlier. And that is your content calendar for the next month. And maybe not all of those questions, right, are relative or have enough juice behind them to create a 500-word blog post. Take it and put it on social media and use that post to send people back to your blog. So some of you might be thinking, 4 blogs, I ain't got time. I ain't got time to write 4 blogs in a month or even 4 months, right? And so this is where I want you to think about zero wasting your time, right? And repurposing this. So my recommendation is, I know y'all are in the car talking to yourself. I talk to myself in the car, right? And so remember those questions. And as you're driving, I want you to record yourself as you would answer that patient, the expertise and the stories that you would share about that topic and that question, right? Then use an AI tool to break that 10-minute talk, 15 minutes, however long you can talk, right, into 4 short blog posts, minimum 500 words. And then spin it into your social media. And this is where we start becoming omnipresent with a very solid SEO strategy. Take one paragraph from your blog, put it over a video of you working or doing that treatment, and then you have a reel, right? Take that frequently asked section of your blog that your AI helper created for you and turn that into a 5-slide carousel on Instagram. Again, you're sending traffic back to your blog, you're answering questions, plus Google's algorithm is also ranking Instagram posts. It's been doing this for a long time. This is not one of the new features. But the more keywords that you're baking into your Instagram posts and your Instagram captions, the better you are going to do on SEO and ranking in Google. And so that's why I hear a lot, right? Like, the captions are too long. I need short, punchy captions for my Instagram. And that's just not the best strategy. It's better to have a good mix of short and long. So that way you're baking your keywords in and building your authority with Google. If any of you guys were attending my content framework it's the content sandwich framework that I talked about in one of these group coaching calls last year. And if you're back with me again, thank you for tuning back in. I recommend you going and watching it because this will feed that sandwich. And it's very easy to then see how all the pieces come together, right? So, just in a recap, the reach was the bun of the sandwich. It was answering the big question. The connection piece of that, the meat and potatoes, is like behind the scenes of fixing that problem. And then using that to convert by sending out a mass email or more posts that include the blog and a book now button, right? And so it's kind of that 3-step. Again, go back and watch it if you need more details on it. But you're essentially saying the same thing across every channel. And while many are going to think that's repetitive, or even releasing a blog about the same topic multiple times can seem repetitive, I promise you it's not. It's omnipresent. So let's shift that mindset right now, right? It takes, on average, 7 to 13 touches for a patient to trust you enough to book for that service. That service, not just your brand, that service. So if you're talking about a different thing every single day, they are never going to reach touch number 7. It's going to be 3 years and they're going to be like, oh, she's talking about radius again. I haven't heard about that in about a year. So if you talk with the same theme all month, you'll close your sales by the week 3, right? By that 3rd week of consistently talking about the same theme. So it's really important to me, you guys took your time out of your day to come and sit and listen in on me. And I don't want you to leave this training with just ideas. I want you to have a plan. All right. So remember, step 1 is downloading Keywords Everywhere, getting it hooked up onto your browser. Step 2 is identifying that hero treatment that you're going to start with and finding the 4 most searched questions about it. Step 3, record some videos, some voice memos, 10 to 15 minutes, answering those questions, feeding it to your AI. And then by next week, guys, you can publish blogs. You can pre-schedule your blogs and send them to your email list. Like, I know you think I'm oversimplifying it, but I promise you I'm not. This is how you move from a discombobulated mess to a rock solid aesthetic blueprint. And when your marketing is working together, your sales funnel starts to be really green, right? From the top of the funnel, your leads are higher quality. They found you through an expert answer, not an ad, right? Not some discounted ad. They found you because you provided value. Your show up rate increases because when they did see your ad and they wanted to learn more, you had already spent all of this time and energy baking up your expertise into your blogs. So marketing does not have to be hard. It just has to be consistent. Stop trying to go viral and start trying to be the most helpful person in your zip code. Google will reward you and your bank account will too. So in 2026, we're not optimizing for keywords anymore, you guys. We're optimizing for answers. So if your blog header says, our fillers, Google's ignoring it, right? But if your blog header says, why did my lip filler migrate? Google's AI scrapes your answer and puts your name in the citation box. And that is how you win SEO right now. You aren't writing for a search engine. You're writing to be the featured authority for a patient's biggest fear. If you're over here sitting, this sounds great, right? You're thinking it sounds great, but you need a template to keep you organized. Remember, I said at the beginning of this call, we have an amazing marketing planner and template. It includes blogs. It includes social media posts. It really encompasses your entire organic strategy. So if you want that, I want you to comment planner, send a message, send a DM, send planner right now. And we will get you that download link ASAP. So let's stop wasting time, energy, efforts, and let's really start growing on Google, you guys. I've seen a few questions start trickling in across my inbox here. So I'm going to stop here and answer because when I saw this one come in, this one to me is so relatable that I think all of you guys will really feel. How am I supposed to find the time to build topic authority when I can barely find time for lunch? I'm an injector with a full book. Yeah. I'm sure all of us feel, like we just don't have the time to invest in really building up our topical authority on Google. So you're certainly not alone, as I'm sure most people in both virtual rooms from here to YouTube to Instagram are. You think that you don't have the time to market, so you stay in the chair for 40 hours a week, right? But because you aren't building authority for your med spa, you are stuck in the talent trap where you're the only person that your patients want to see. The zero waste blogging strategy is actually the cure for your time problem. If you spend 10 minutes recording a voice memo while you drive home and your admin uses a tool to turn that into a blog, you've just duplicated yourself. You're welcome, world. That blog handles the consultations for you while you sleep. It educates the patient before they even arrive. You don't have 10 minutes a week to scale your brain. You don't own a business. You own a high-paying job. My aesthetic blueprint is designed to move you from injector to institution. So the business earns even when you aren't holding a syringe. And that is exactly why you need to make time. Okay, let's see. Okay, I heard Google is rewarding original content. Can I just use ChatGPT to write my topic clusters? Or is that going to get my site flagged? $1 million question right now. Everyone is wondering, can I use ChatGPT as, my copywriter? And my honest, no BS truth is that Google doesn't hate AI. Google hates generic trash. So if you tell ChatGPT, write a blog about Botox, it's going to give you a C- paper that looks like every other med spa. And that's what gets killed in this update, right? So not a good idea. It has zero experience, right? Remember earlier I was talking about the EEAT, and the E stands for experience. AI has not injected 5,000 faces. AI has not seen how a patient's skin reacts to a specific laser setting. You use AI as your architect, not as your author. And so you provide the voice memo transcript with your real world stories, your aesthetic eye, and then you let AI structure it into the FAQ format that Google loves. So you provide the soul, and the tech just makes a skeleton. It just bundles it up and puts a bow on it for you. So that is really how you stay on that right side of the algorithm. Let's see. Okay. Do I have any more questions coming in? Make sure, guys, if you want that planner, send us your email and we will share it with you right away. I don't see any more questions coming in, so I will wrap here. But again, thank you so much for joining me, you guys. It really means the world to have you on here with me. If you love this training, make sure you share it with your team or another med spa that could benefit from it. You can always catch the replay on our YouTube channel to get access to more free training that will help grow your med spa. Visit our link tree in our social bio and be sure to join us live every Wednesday, 2:30 Central Time, same place. Find us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Bye, guys.